love the hustle, man. Be feeling like one of them ball playing niggas, you know, like Bird, Magic or something.
Stuck in the ground, stuck in the ground, I'm stuck in the ground. Look me in my eyes, call me on my lies. I'm stuck in this ground, I'm stuck in this ground, yeah.
Akeem Springs, highly decorated professional athlete. So what we all want to know is, how have you been sticking to the grind? What have you been doing during these crazy times that we've been having?
Man, first I gotta say, shout out my guys here, my friends, man. Y'all need anything, definitely get at them. But how I've been sticking to it, man, just locking in. I think when I listened to Nipsey after he passed, and one of the things he always said is, he was like, man, wasn't nothing different between me and some of these other guys, so I just didn't quit. That's something that stuck with me. Some of my mentors in the league, Kendrick Perkins, other guys that's been around, they just showed me how the hard workers, they don't go unseen. Your path might seem a little different, but if you keep putting in the work, it usually pan out for you. So man, that faith in God, and just been on it, man. Just been on it. Just committed to it. I believe in it, and they say if you believe in it, just keep working for it.
So before this pandemic, the grind isn't anything new to you. What were some of your biggest hardships to overcome before we even got to dealing with COVID-19 and all of that?
So man, before COVID, like you said, I'm a professional. I'm going into year 3 as a professional now, but I started off my professional career with an Achilles injury. My last year at Minnesota in March, I ruptured my Achilles, so I'm back in the G League 8 months. After that, grinding, trying to play. My dad was just talking about it. I'm up 5:30 in the morning before games in the G League, trying to get my legs going. I'm still trying to lose weight during the season. That happened, so I'm recovering from that. Not only recovering my Achilles, recovering all these other muscles in the leg. Different agents that you have to deal with on the process. Dealing with different teams. It's just a bunch in the grind, man. So for me, the biggest hardship probably for me was getting through injury, recovering from injury, and just letting people know that I'm healthy, not being discouraged mentally. That's a big thing that I see. Depression for a lot of those guys when they go through injury. Just trying to stay out of that. Just trying to keep my head for real.
Now you spoke on your mentality during your injury. How do you keep your mind sharp? And I know you spoke on faith as well. So how do those two things intertwine when you're dealing with the grind of trying to be a professional athlete at the highest level?
Man, so for me, my faith is definitely key for me, because I find peace through the struggle. It says testing brings patience. So that's what I became. I've learned so much over this time, and just trusting that this was a plan of God, rather than saying I'm behind or I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Allowed me to look at this process differently. It allowed me to work on different things. It allowed me to build different things. It allowed me to network with different people. It allowed me to see this process that I'm going through way differently than from a state of depression or just, woe is me kind of thing. Having faith that God got a plan for me just allowed me to see this with, okay, let me work the plan then. Yeah.
Right, because a lot of people, they will go into that with a why me mentality. Like, if the quicker you can bounce back from that why me and, okay, what am I supposed to get from this?
Right.
Then the quicker you will find out, the purpose of the trials that you're going through.
I think absolutely, I agree with that. And then I say a lot of times what I looked at early, like soon as I got over my Achilles, or like as I was getting through my recovery, instead of why me, like why not me? Like, would I wish this on somebody else? And then knowing that God says that I won't give you nothing that you can't bear. You feel me? I believe that. So I'm saying, you gave it to me, so you must think I can get through it. So, that's another big one for me.
Facts. So outside of basketball, how have you been keeping busy during these times?
Like we got right here, man, one of the biggest projects, one of my biggest ventures is Springs Preparatory Academy. It's our prep school that we're officially launching. We're expected fall 2021. But we're already in our soft launch process where we're getting some of the guys. We're starting to educate them. We're utilizing their e-learning. We're utilizing the fact that they are interested in this athletics piece as the goal that they set, and we set a standard based on their goals. So man, prep school, we watch guys like IMG, we watch Finley. I know a bunch of guys that I play with that been in the prep process. So man, not only fighting back with the Black Lives thing, with all the injustice we see, but what we said is we have to educate our own. So one of the biggest things for us was putting our hand on the educational piece for our kids, for our athletes, putting our hand in that, because we're not just gonna let anybody teach our kids. We feel like we got a group of advisors and a great board that's gonna bring a curriculum that's making sure our kids are prepared for if it's sports, but life as a whole. That we're trying to, we're tying our kids into the community with community service. It's a faith-based curriculum, so we're giving them some of those foundational things that we feel are essential to create a prosperous individual. And these are young men. The man is supposed to be the head of the house. We look at some of the things we see with women, and we feel that if we can put all our efforts into these young men, the house will be better, which will make our communities better, which will make the whole world better. Yeah.
Right. And so we know that you've been a part of the B&B Elite organization. What made you guys want to transition from, okay, we're not just going to impact their lives in the sports world, but we're going to show them that it's bigger than just being an athlete, you know?
I think that's in the name though. Books and basketball is B&B, you know. So that's been a thing, and actually the funny thing is we've been working on this for years. When I was graduating high school, I definitely had a bunch of offers, but I didn't have the schools that I thought I should have. Cool. My pops and one of his good friends that he was working with at the time came up with the idea to come up with a prep school at the end. It was short notice. We probably tried to do it within 3-4 months, and basketball for me ended up going the right way, so I ended up taking the Division I offer. But we've been in the process of thinking this for a while. We always thought, man, I want to educate our kids. I want to get our kids in and create this facility of not eliteness as arrogance, but elite meaning these kids are motivated. These kids want to, they're coming in. They're not trying to figure this out right now. They're sure that they want to keep going with this and give them a place to go.
Right, and that even having that arrogant mindset, sometimes in this field, best basketball especially, you kind of need that a little bit. Like you need to have that swagger about yourself. You need to, feel like you're not just average. You are elite, or else you're not gonna really make it far in this field, or in basically anywhere in life. You feel me? If you're feeling like you're average, those are the results you're gonna get. So if you have an elite mindset and you want to reach those elite plateaus, you kind of have to have that arrogance about yourself.
I mean, absolutely, man. The motto for B&B and the Springs Prep is somebody got to be great. So our idea is that there's greatness in each individual. You don't get to that greatness by being super cocky, but you also don't get there by thinking you're less than someone else. We say that, man, you can achieve that personal greatness without having to put somebody down. So like you said, you got to be confident in this. You got to have a certain swag to yourself, I think, to be successful in any path you take in life. If I was let's say I was a preacher, like the opposite spectrum of sports, a preacher, I still have to be sure that I know what I'm talking about. You feel me? So that's a confidence. So I think in anything, a teacher, I got to be sure. A politician, I got to be sure. A doctor, I got to be confident when I'm going to work on people. So I think that confidence piece is big in whatever you do in life.
Okay, and you spoke on mottos. Tell us about the origin of your motto, ain't nothing but some work, which you representing well on the shirt right here. How did that come about? And I see you have almost a work nation behind you.
Absolutely.
Like what is that like interacting with those guys?
So shout out Work fam, but so Work ain't nothing but some work as a brand, as a motto started for me my sophomore year in college. I was at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. If y'all have seen anything on me, y'all know we had to sneak in the gym at Milwaukee. We couldn't get in for extra shots. The cops came a couple times trying to kick us out the gym. But going to be work. But as long as the work doesn't kill you, it's just work. It's just work. Between the goal you set and where you are, it's a distance. If you're sure about the goal you set, ain't nothing but some work to get there. So that's kind of how we see that, and that's really for me in my chase for my NBA contract, and my chase to make this the biggest prep school, and my chase to make our AAU programs nationally competitive. It's nothing but some work for me. And when I see the Black Lives Matter movement, when I see the work that we've done in the civil rights movement, I see it as a goal and the work it took to get there. So that's what it is for me. Ain't nothing but some work. That's how I came alive. That's what it is. My work fan, man, it's kids. I have kids from some everywhere. Utah, Atlanta, Cleveland, all the places I've played, but even some places I've never been before. And they're just, New Jersey, they're just attached to this message of work. And my thing is, I tell them, God first, nothing but some work. But if I can get you to learn these principles that I feel are, like you said, confidence is essential to anything you do. Hard work is essential to anything you do. So if I can get y'all to learn this habit of hard work, regardless of what you do, even if it's sports or not, you'll be better off. So that's, man, Work Nation. Shout out Work Nation, man. But that's my ain't nothing but some work motto.
Right, for sure. And last question. So obviously this segment is called Stuck in the Grind. What does the end of your grind look like? What are your end goals, or what can we expect from you moving forward?
The end of my grind, stuck in the grind. I think Nip, when he said that, he was like, man, you never get off.
Right.
I got something that I say, man, this the kind of grind you don't get off. This one of them things, like for basketball, for me, even if I come to retire in basketball, I think there's always something I can do in basketball to better the next generation, to help prepare the next generation. In education, I think it's always something. So the immediate next step for me is this summer, we're talking to my agent. We're trying to work on an NBA contract. We have overseas deals right now, but with the uncertainty with COVID and with some of the numbers that teams are offering right now because they can't get fans, it's almost better for us to just wait, get ready for the league, get ready for G League stuff. Utah's had my rights for the last 2 years, so I couldn't really interact with other teams. But this is the year, man. It's a healthy year for us. We've put a year of work in, about a total a year of just work without any games. So, man, that's the next step. NBA contract or best deal after that. And other than that, man, just keep growing everything we got going on. So, stuck in the grind. How that look for me? Keep going. Work every day.
All right, y'all heard it here first. Akeem Springs on Stuck in the Grind, man. Appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate y'all. French, excuse my French. If y'all